Lamine Brahami is co-founder and managing partner at Taurus, a Swiss digital asset infrastructure provider for financial institutions. Taurus provides enterprise-grade tech to issue, custody, and trade digital assets, including crypto, tokenized assets, stablecoins, and digital currencies. They have 14 offices globally and work with 40-plus institutional clients, including leading financial institutions such as Deutsche Bank, State Street, Casais, Clearbank, and Swissquote. This episode is brought to you by the Hashgraph Association. I would love if you could start us off here with just a bit of an intro with yourself. Tell us what Taurus builds, who it serves, and why you guys designed Taurus from day one for regulated financial institutions.
Thanks a lot for having me. It's a great pleasure to be in your show. So Taurus, as you mentioned, we founded Taurus back in 2018, and we do two things. One, we build technology. So concretely speaking, wallet management, custody, tokenization, infrastructure for financial institutions mostly, but we're having now clients outside this segment. And the second thing, we have a Swiss regulated marketplace to trade tokenized securities. And we recently announced a few months ago the European Union extension of it for a MiFID license. When we speak to our clients, they want to be able to manage any digital assets, whether crypto, whether stablecoins, or whether tokenized assets. We provide them with the tools to be able to manage any type of digital asset with a simple modular platform. If they want to issue a stablecoin, they are able to do so. Casais has announced a stablecoin last week. It's powered by our technology. But if they also want to tokenize money market funds or any type of equity instrument, debt instruments, they're able to do so with our platform. On the other hand, if they don't want to look at tokenization, they just want to provide crypto trading and staking, they're also able to do that with our solutions. That's in a nutshell what we do. And to the second part of your question, why did we, target financial institutions? We had deep conviction, and you can trust me on this one. We have lots of data points. We come ourselves from regulated background. I come from a banking background. Another co-founder come from hedge fund industry. We had as a hypothesis when we created Taurus that this business would become so big, and there is so much inefficiency to be, solved with blockchain, distributed ledger, as well as the whole smart contracts piece, that this business would be regulated. We were very lucky that after maybe 3-4 days, we won our first deal with whom? Financial institutions. This confirmed our hypothesis. And then we were very lucky also to be in Switzerland, which was the very first large financial center to clarify regulation with respect to cryptocurrencies back in the days, but then extended it to tokenized securities. So it's a combination of deep conviction, but also a bit of luck that made us build our platform by bankers for bankers since day one, rather than just retrofitting it back after a few years of operations.
It leads us into where we're at right now in 2026, because we're at this really interesting inflection point for adoption. There's been, I think, a lot of things that have changed over the past 18 to 24 months as far as how regulated financial institutions can engage with the technology. From your standpoint, kind of being at that intersection of distributed ledger and banking, what is the core challenge that banks still face when touching digital assets?
I will give you really my answer from, I would say, an entrepreneur and from a practitioner perspective. There are, I would say, 3-4 main challenges that banks face when they want really to scale, and not even scale, enter digital assets. The first one is the pure change management and mental barrier. I cannot tell you how many times we faced during our 8 years of existence initial meetings with financial institutions executives. There were misconceptions about what cryptocurrencies are related to anti-money laundering. So there was a lot of education and I would say a change in really the mindset of those guys. The regulation adoption in all the financial centers have drastically, I would say, reduced those mental barriers. And I'm very happy that a few of the guys, or many of the guys who were telling me, Lamine, it's very nice, you're building something great, but it's not for us. They came back, as you said, in the last 18 months, knocking at the door, telling us it's not even an innovation project. It's something which is must have in a roadmap. So from that perspective, a lot has been done. Then I would say the more tangible things when a bank enters digital assets are twofold. One is really a regulatory stream. So they basically need to file for whatever licenses. In the US, you have the Genius Act, soon to come, the Clarity Act. In the European Union, you have MiCA. In Switzerland, you have the equivalent of MiCA. So there is a regulatory and compliance stream. And in parallel to this one, there's the tech and security stream. And here, the main risk is the loss of funds. So key management sits at the center of this process, but not only key management. Coming ourselves from banking background, you can have a very good key management system, but if it doesn't integrate in the suite of products and the platforms and the systems of the banks, you will never be able to scale. So being able to integrate with the core systems of those financial institutions is very important. And the last one, which is something that is popping up massively over the last 3 months when I speak to some of the executives of the clients and even the prospects we talk to, post-quantum is critical. This is something we've been researching and also working on since 2021. We released public papers available on our website back since 2021. We are very pleased to be post-quantum ready in our stack. Obviously, the blockchains underneath needs to make the transition. We're working with some of them, but we are very happy to say to our clients that whatever post-quantum signatures those blockchains select, we know we can support them already now. So I would say those are the three main things: change management, shift in cultures, regulatory and compliance stream, and obviously tech and security streams.
You guys have locked in so many institutional partnerships. I mean, just in the intro, I named some really big entities, but I would love if you could touch base on those institutional partnerships, any that stick out to you, and what that says about kind of the momentum that is behind where all of this is heading.
Yeah. I can tell you, we in 2023, we had just raised like 65 million US dollars. So 3 years ago, I think back in the days, we probably had 3 or 4 offices. It's just an indicator to the audience. And we have now 14 offices. We opened last year in New York, Sao Paulo, and we've been basically going twice or 3 times as fast over the last 2-3 years than the first 4 or 5 years of our existence. And basically, it just tells you now that crypto, digital assets, DLT infrastructure has become a global phenomenon. And we even have, I'm myself originally from North Africa. So me referring to Africa shouldn't be taken as a criticism. We even have clients in Africa, right, who has been known as possibly less mature from a regulatory perspective versus Western world. I'm very pleased to see clients that are very sophisticated, regulators. So I would say digital assets have become a global phenomenon. And what it means on our end, very selfishly, we were right to focus on financial institutions. You probably have seen also that Swift has announced last week their go live in production of their distributed ledger. A few of our clients are involved in this initiative and we're supporting them. So I think that's super encouraging. Today we are 3, 4, 5 trillion, mostly 2 or 3 trillion of digital asset, crypto included, total market cap. But I believe that between now and 2030, we can grow 5 to 10 or 15 times. So the next challenge for me that I see, I think on the cryptocurrency side, it will continue to grow up and down. The next bull run will come, I think, in 18 to 24 months. On the stablecoin side, I believe with regulatory clarity, but also other, I would say, economic blocks willing to issue their own stablecoins, and with the Swift initiative, you can reach 1 to 2 or 3 trillion by 2030. What's missing is really the middle block, which is tokenizing securities. And we always said, as long as the cash like is not tokenized and accepted at scale, tokenization of security will not grow. And the second thing, I'm very pleased to see that the big financial market infrastructures, the DTCC in the US, but also others in the European Union, in Switzerland, in the Middle East, are actively accelerating the digital assets roadmap. And if you have now the FMI's financial market infrastructure or central security depository enter the space, you're going to see trillions of assets potentially being tokenized. So I would say the future is bright. And what we're trying to do at Taurus is really giving our clients the maximum possible optionality to do whatever they want on any distributed ledger they want.
You guys have a relationship with the Hashgraph Association. Can you talk about what that relationship is like, with when that kind of started?
The Hashgraph relationship started with a good friend of mine, Kamel, back in 2025. We announced that the integration of the base, I would say, distributed ledger network of Hashgraph and Hedera in our, I would say, system back in 2025. We announced a few days ago us joining the Hashgraph Association's global membership program. But I think what's very, very relevant to our conversation today is I think according to Hashgraph themselves and Hedera themselves, we probably managed to achieve in record time one of the deepest integrations of the whole Hedera ecosystem. It means that our clients and the institutions we work with are able to access not only the HBAR, but also the Hedera Token Service, as well as the Hedera Smart Contract Service for the EVM, I would say for the clients who are more comfortable using EVM solutions. We have not announced it yet, but I can say it to you, it's not a secret. So we have a full integration to Hedera, whether, as I said, the token service, the smart contract service, and we have, I would say, great prospects with the Hashgraph Association and our friends there, especially in some of the largest financial centers, whether in Western economies or also emerging markets.
I think it's interesting when you look at the architecture of Hedera, where as an institution, as a business, you have the option to leverage token service, or you have the option to leverage smart contracts or the file service. As adoption comes to fruition, every single entity and every single individual is going to leverage blockchain and distributed ledger in a different way.
I think what's super important and also super consistent across 5 continents we operate in, our clients and especially financial institutions, they want to have the choice. So they will not want to put all their eggs in the same basket, and they want to be able also to learn because they are still very early in their journey. So they want a mix of top tier EVM and non-EVM blockchains. So basically our job on our end is to provide them access with the, I would say, best blockchains in the industry, whether for tokenizing securities, or whether for stablecoins, or even for cryptocurrencies. And when you come to Hedera, I think what's very nice is the super fast transaction finality that is requested by many of our clients, and the ability to have in parallel the Hedera token service as well as the EVM version, which is the Hedera, I would say, smart contract service, which allows smart contract developers of our clients to rapidly onboard into the blockchain using the tools they already know. So I think in the next, I would say 3 to 5 years, I don't see the world converging in 1 or 2 DLTs. There will still be healthy competition, and we will see after that.
What are you excited about throughout the remainder of this year for what you guys are building?
Super excited about, I would say, 3 things. One is our global expansion. As a co-founder of Taurus, I take care of this. So I'm super happy, super pleased to not only hire, but to be in the trenches with our teams, whether in the UAE, in Europe, in Turkey, in Brazil, or in the US. So, and we have amazing announcements, amazing deals we won that are going to be announced in the next few weeks and months. But that's very selfish. That's about me. But if I look at our clients, there are a couple of amazing things coming. There is something we call Taurus Network, which allows our clients to be in a network together, do business together. There are a couple of very nice use cases that are going to be announced together with clients, whether with respect to collateral management, whether also with respect to distribution of can be stablecoin or money market funds. And on the last one is really the launch of our European regulated business, which is MiFID regulated. And there will be also a very good complement to what we were able to do in the area of tokenizing securities inside the European Union.
Well, I definitely want to make sure that I drive people to where you guys are building, and you can learn more about Taurus at taurushq.com. So please go and check that out. And you can see the scroll down here and how many huge entities Taurus deals with, from Deutsche Bank to State Street to Casais and all the others that we've mentioned in this. Give Taurus a follow on X at Taurus_HQ. Thank you to the Hashgraph Association for helping to put these together at _Hashgraph. You can learn more about Hashgraph at hashgraph.swiss and their membership platform, membership.hashgraph.swiss. You can give me a follow at IOV_OWL, Genfinity at Genfinity, and this will likely have an article about Taurus as well as when we release this. So we made it through, Lamine. I told you we would. Thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing all the progress and innovation out of Taurus this
Take
year.
good care. See you soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.